Hi guys, so today I want to cover soil pH. I've drawn up a little diagram on the whiteboard behind me. So we've already done crop rotation, which is one important thing, and the next really important thing is to make sure that your soil is right for your vegetables. So they like a particular level of soil, of which I'll go into now. So behind me I've got my diagram. It's numbered from 0 to 14, which is the pH soil scale. And what we have is obviously neutral being bang in the middle at 7, acidity, which is 6 down to 0, and alkaline, which is basically from 8 up to 14. So you can buy these little tester kits. This one's a bit old, from your local garden centre. So that is what you're going to be looking for, soil pH checks. And it gives you all the information of how to do it. It's a really, really simple way of doing it. The only bit of advice I will give to you guys is when you are doing this, make sure you do what it tells you to do. And also as well, make sure you dig quite far down, because obviously your roots aren't just going to sit on the surface. So there's no point in just picking up a little bit of dirt from the top of the surface and then plopping it into the little cylinder tube that they give you. You want to go at least 6 to 8 inches down. So you're going to be digging quite a deep hole, and then you want to sort of take a slice really from sort of like more towards the bottom, because obviously the roots of the plants aren't just going to sit on the surface. They're going to go really, really deep down. And you'll find as well, if you have been adding manures or any sort of top dressings, then that pH might be slightly different to what's going on down below. So try and go down quite fairly deep, and that will give you more of an accurate testing. And also as well, don't just do it in one area. So if you have, say for instance, a 5x5 meter bed, you want to take it from 3 or 4 different points and just take small samples of soil, then mix it up. They normally ask you to let it dry naturally, so it's not a wet compost, and then just obviously take a tiny bit, put it into your little cylinder, and that should be able, that will normally give you the colour of your soil, which will then tell you of what pH, because the little cylinder will turn a different colour, and you'll be able to match it with this. So so vegetables, the majority of them like to be grown in limey kinds of soil. So you don't want it madly limey. So obviously here we have a really, really high pH level, and I'm all the way up past the 8. And the problem with that we have here is it then creates a lockup of nutrients. So the plant can't actually access. So although it is fantastic soil up here and the plants absolutely love it, I have nutrient deficiencies because of the high lime, and you'll get that with acidity as well. If it's too highly acidic, you'll get this lockup of nutrients. The other thing I will say, don't panic if you are on an acidic soil, because actually acidic soil is slightly easier to rectify than if you have a really high limey soil. So if you have an acidic soil, so if you get the orange or the red showing up and you want to bring your pH up more to neutral, then what you will do, you will add lime, which you can get from your local garden centres. Don't ever use builder's lime. It's a completely sort of different lime that you don't want to be putting onto your soil. Normally it's 35 grams per square metre. Obviously all the information's on the bags, that's all great. And that is basically it, really. I don't use these small tester kits because obviously we have an arable farmer here. It's great for me because I just put soil into a little box and then I give it to the farmer, and he takes it and it gets special analysing done, so I know sort of like what nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium contents I have in the soil. So you can get more in-depth testings done, and that's great if you want to veg grow on a really high level and you want to know exactly what's going on with your soil. So I would recommend that. Obviously you can get in touch with a lot of farmers if they're arable farmers. I'm sure that they will, you can always contact them and see if you can get soil samples done, or I will try and find a link for you guys if you wanted to do that, but that's quite pricey. Whereas I think, well, when I bought this, it was only 99p, but I think they've gone up to £2.50, maybe £3 now. But it's well worth doing, really, really important. So once you know your soil pH, you can obviously start cracking on. So like I said to you, your vegetables like more, just slightly above the neutral. So you really want it to be about 7.5 on the scale to grow really, really good crops. Like your brassicas, your cauliflowers, your kales, they like quite limey soil. So if you can, get your bag of lime. And what I used to do in a previous estate that I used to work on, it was slightly acidic soil. So obviously I'd top dress the topsoil with the lime to the ratio that it said, the application ratio it said to do. But also as well, when I came to plant my cauliflowers, I would get a little tub and I'd sprinkle the whole with lime and then plant the cauliflower, and you will find you'll get lovely big heads, and you'll get a really, really good crop. So basically that's it. It's quite, it might seem a little bit daunting, but you know, give it a go, because as soon as you've done your soil test, you know where you're at with your soil levels. And then obviously you can refer back to this video if you're still not sort of making any sense. And obviously definitely feel free to leave any messages at the bottom of this video, and obviously I'll try and get back to you with answers to your questions. I hope that helps you guys. Take it easy and have a good soil testing day. Cheers, bye. So I know that I've been chatting about the vegetables. So there is one fruit that crops to mind, is blueberries. They are acidic loving plant, so they love acidic soil. So if you do have acidic soil, you can obviously plant your blueberries directly into the ground. If not, the alternative is I get sort of 65-75 litre pots. I sink them into the ground and I fill the pot with ericaceous compost. Ericaceous compost is acidic compost. So if you are growing acidic plants, whether it be fruit bushes or other plants that like acidic soil, ericaceous compost is the compost that you need to get. I just plant them in the pots. As I said, I sink them into the ground. For me, it looks more naturalistic in the fruiting cage area, because I don't want pots sitting on the soil. They'll dry out really quickly. Whereas at least if they're sunk into the soil, there's still the root holes at the bottom, so they can obviously suck up the moisture that they need, along with a bit of watering that I do over the top, because obviously they are in a pot. And that's about it for that. So if you do have acidic loving plants, then obviously use ericaceous compost. And like I said before, the veg love the lime. So get lime in and get growing. Hi guys, so obviously this is the whiteboard that I had behind me, and I just wanted to give you a quick close-up. So obviously this will be your highly acidic area, obviously going all the way up to 6, which is on the edge of being acidic to neutral, neutral being your 7 mark. And this is sort of more of your optimum area. 7.5 is absolutely spot on for growing your vegetables. And obviously I'm up around the 8 mark, which is highly alkaline, limey soil. But obviously, like I said, you know, if you hit these kind of numbers where it's really highly alkaline, or you're down by, you know, you're really very acidic, that is where you're going to struggle and get your lockup of nutrients within your soils. But I will do a video on deficiencies in plants and how to check for them, and then what you can do to help them, whether that be certain feed or spray. Foliar feed's normally the way to go with that. So thanks for watching guys, take it easy, and I'll catch you soon.